Okay, I don't know about anybody else, but I'm thinking that it worked out pretty good holding McCarthy, for 15 votes. I don't know.
But Glenn, it was such an embarrassment. And it was such can you believe the dysfunction in the party?
No,
all that.
No, I can't.
Oh,
it was
gosh.
4 days.
We delayed their important work by a few days.
Yeah.
That's...
yeah. So here's what they got. Minimum 72-hour reading period for all bills presented to Congress. Now, you would think that, we already have that because that's exactly what President Obama... I'm just going to point out, the Freedom Caucus actually got in writing what President Obama said he was going to do and never did. 72 hours to read a bill. Why is that important? Because we don't have a constitutional republic anymore. The way this is being run is there is no appropriations committee, really. There is no way to have the power of the purse with Congress because they don't make a budget. They just give you one lump sum and then let the president divvy it out. That's unconstitutional. That's not the way anybody does that. Nobody does that. You have a budget. Okay. They don't have that. You also no longer have the same process of debate on the floor. When was the last time you saw, except for last week, when was the last time you saw Congress all sitting together as a House of Representatives and debating and have people behind them listening to them? Everything that you have seen on the House floor where somebody gets up to make a statement, there's nobody else in the House. Literally, no one else in the House. That's all made for TV.
And this is why one of the first things they do, and this is Republicans and Democrats, one of the first rules they pass is to make sure C-SPAN cameras can't be pointed at the gallery.
Yes.
Because they don't want you to see that no one's there.
Correct.
So the only reason you saw any of this stuff with McCarthy and Matt Gaetz and the guy being restrained and all, the only reason you saw any of that is because the speaker wasn't in place yet and the rule wasn't set yet so that the C-SPAN cameras could be pointed at the gallery. Now they can't. You're never going to see that stuff again for 2 years. But because they hadn't put those rules in yet, you got this small window of time to actually see what was happening.
Right. You need transparency. This is our government. We vote. They're representing us. I want to see what they're doing as they represent us. So there was no debate. It was all decided by Nancy Pelosi and Kevin McCarthy. And then it was Chuck Schumer and Turtleface. And those four were making the decisions of what would come to the floor of the House and the Senate. And then they would give it to you, maybe 5 hours before a vote. It's 2,000 pages. You can't read it. You need attorneys. You need your staff to go over what is in that bill. That's what the House Freedom Caucus just accomplished for you. Conservatives who are against this, you don't have to apologize. Will you at least admit this is something good? Democrats who said, these guys are terrorists, it's in the hands of crazy people. Is that crazy? What they got, is that crazy, or does that work to your advantage as somebody who belongs to the United States of America as a voting citizen? Isn't this a good thing? Now, they also got a commitment on a committee to study potential FBI abuses against the American public. That's a church committee. And I'll explain that later next hour. That is really, really good. How about this for everybody who thinks it's an extremist thing on the left? Term limits. They're going to get a vote. We all know how it's going to turn out. But they're at least going to get a vote on term limits. That's something that almost every American is for.
One of the most popular things in our discourse.
Correct.
Something like 80% of people support it.
Correct. So how is this a bad thing for America? For Republicans or Democrats, this is the first time I've seen a group of people actually do the work of the American people and take all the arrows and keep standing. When's the last time you saw anybody do that in Congress, not for some special interest, not for something that is really divisive. None of those are divisive. When's the last time you saw that? Congratulations to the House Freedom Caucus. I wish these guys were in charge, honestly, because they're only asking to live by the Constitution. That's a good thing, a really good thing. So congratulations, America. You won.